All right, so guys, we're going to work from open guard position. We're going to work some passing where we set up a knee cut from the flow pass or the headquarters pass. So this is a position I like to get into. I feel like it's a real stable position, especially because you have inside control and you have options where we can go tight passing, loose passing, flow passing. Since we have the gi, we can set up some knee cuts using the lapel and the sleeve grip. But we're going to get a reaction out of our partner. So we're not just going to make our grips and go. I want to get a good reaction. I want to get her hip to one side, square her up, look to get my chest as close as I can, have her push away, and then we set up this knee cut. So we'll start like this. If she's sitting up, get the person on their back, right? I always want to pass her, start sitting up for a second. I always want to pass when she's on her back, right? Because anytime I'm trying to pass from here, she can always follow me. It's a lot harder to follow when her back is on the mat, okay? So we're gonna start here. Again, trying to keep my feet away from my partner. I don't want her to make any hooks. I get inside grips. I'm gonna walk to my side here like this, and I'm gonna take a deep step where my shin is gonna hit the hamstring on this side, okay? So my right shin will hit the hamstring on this side, and then I bring her back. So I square her hip back up. I'm stepping my leg on the outside of her leg. For the most part, she'll keep her leg in between my legs because she doesn't want me to get to mount. So if I'm here, I step and I square her up, okay? My right knee is gonna be up against her ribs on this side. My foot is behind her leg, so I have inside control over here. So my foot is gonna be behind the leg on this side. Her right knee is up against my chest on this side. My left foot is on the mat, but my knee is by the hip. I'm not dropping my knee down to the mat here. I'm stepping up and I'm keeping pressure. So I'm sitting on top of this right leg. Now we're gonna look to clear this knee. So from here, my right hand is gonna push and I bring my shoulder over her knee. I wanna start to play tight. I want a good reaction out of her. So from here, I'm gonna start to drive down, almost go chest to chest. If I can get an underhook, if I can get a crossface, I just want her to start to push. So from here, shoulder over the knee, and I start to drive down chest to chest. She's gonna look to push to keep my weight off. My right hand is gonna circle, and I grab a hold of the collar. My left hand is gonna reach right behind her elbow. And when I'm making these grips, I'm looking to push with my right hand, trying to drive her shoulder down towards the mat and lift her elbow up towards the ceiling. So from here, inside control, punching that shoulder down, lifting right behind the elbow. Now I'm gonna change directions. I'm gonna cut my right knee across her belt, across her hip, and drive it down towards the mat as I'm walking in this direction to my left. So from here, I come up, drive my knee across, and step. My left leg's gonna step up wide, my right hand is pushing on that shoulder, and my left hand is pulling that elbow up. My knee is driving down towards the mat. I have inside control here. Because we were in that position, my elbow and my shoulder on the inside of her left leg. I start to drop my hip down and let my foot fall out. Because her hips are facing this direction, she has a chance to recover. So we're gonna use our right leg to scrape their bottom leg away. So my right leg, my knee is gonna trace down towards her hip here. I straighten, and then I kill the hips the other side. Right away, my head goes across that far shoulder. She's gonna be pushing, okay? So if she pushes, I circle my hand to the inside, bring my head across that shoulder, and then I can start to climb. Again, if we're here, she's on her back. First I'm going this way, so I walk to my left here, just so I can have a good step on this side. I bring my shin up against the hamstring, and with my right hand, I push her knee down. Her free leg is gonna follow. So when I push, she brings that knee through, and we end up in this floating position, or this headquarters position. I have to play tight because I want a reaction out of her to get these grips. I don't want to right away get to here. You're gonna feel off balance. So if I make this grip, especially with her knee in front of my chest, if I make this grip here like this, I'm gonna feel like I'm falling back. So I clear this knee. I push, I bring my shoulder over, and I start to drive down. If you're having a hard time pushing, everything's action reaction. So if I'm here and I'm pushing and she's fighting it, I start to go the opposite way here, okay? She'll start to open her knee up, then I can start to push, drop my chest, and then get to here. She'll look to push me away. My right hand will circle to the inside. So my thumb is going inside the collar. My left hand is reaching at the seam of the gi right behind the tricep or elbow. Now I'm gonna look to push, pull, cut my knee across, and then get right to the other side. My left leg's gonna be up, the outside of my foot is off the mat, so I'm pushing. My elbow and my shoulder are to the inside of this leg, so continue to push. So this is gonna be the fight. She'll continue to push, and I'm pushing and I'm pulling, getting her back flat to the mat. My knee cuts down to the mat. I continue to drop my hip on top of her hip, and then let my foot fall off. My right leg will come back. So try to get your knee up against the ribs, trace it down towards the hip, and then kill the hips to the other side. My head across the shoulder. If you find that they're pushing, so just push, push, push. My hands circle to the inside. I remove the hands off. And get right past. Time. So here. Okay, and guys, you can step right into this position. So I can go here and get right into the position. But I just want to get a reaction out of her. So for here, I make my grips, or I can grab the ankles, either one. I walk to one side, I take a deep step, so she's not defending on that side, and I push this knee down. So anytime I push this knee down, her opposite leg is gonna follow. So if I'm here, deep step, push, and then I'm here, okay? I just don't want this foot, this is super important, I don't want this foot on the other side of her leg. So I don't want her to off balance me on one side, get her foot to this side, and then start to work single ankles. So I'm keeping my foot on one side, I'm stapling this bottom leg, I clear, and I drop my chest. She starts to push, circle my hand to the inside, grab a hold of the sleeve on the other side. We're gonna push, pull, I slide my knee across, step out wide, dropping everything nice and low, not letting her knee get to the inside. So I don't want this here, I wanna keep everything in nice and tight. I start to push, pull, drive my knee through, go hip to hip, my foot comes out. I'm gonna kill the hips the other side. As soon as she pushes, circle my hand to the inside, and then head above the head.